annuity. And the dictionary definition is the yearly payment, either received or obliged to pay. Okay. That is the basic of annuity. And see, I also can't pronounce it as annuity because I always pronounced it as annuity. And it came into being from French word annuit. Then this is in 15th century. Then the original Latin is annus, and so this is quite old. By the time 16th century came, it was annus. Okay, and now we know it as annuity. Okay. Many celebrities, many people who are financially quite affluent have built a trust fund or something for their children who are yet not in a good age where they can decide financial decisions, and therefore they would generally put their children's wealth in a trust fund where the children would receive for a particular number of years an annuity till they are old enough to make financial decisions. The Prince of Wales, his brother, the Queen herself, Queen Elizabeth II of England, everybody received an annuity. Okay. Who would you know? Jane Austen's characters. Jane Austen, Persuasion, Emma, Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibilities, all the Edmunds and Ed, so forth and so forth, all of the heroes, because all of them blue-blooded and extremely rich, so they used to receive annuities, and so it's like from 16th, 17th century onwards, annuities are in vogue. Okay, and then we have Jane Eyre, Charlotte Bronte. When she came into inheritance, then she too settled an annuity on the protagonist's first wife. Okay, Mr. Rochester's first wife. So those are the literary allusions to annuity. Now let us come to year. Okay, the Latin is year, annus, year, and there is a poem that was written in 1666 by a person called John Dryden, and he wrote the poem Annus Mirabilis. Annus Mirabilis. Ever heard of it? It's a literary classic, so therefore nobody has heard about it. I mean, nobody reads classics, everybody reads pulp and trash. But Mirabilis, why I'm referring to that, is miracle. So, miraculous year. John Dryden wrote a poem, and this year was not a miraculous year for England because the Great Fire of London happened at that time. Then just after the fire, plague broke out and it wiped off 20% of London's population. Okay, and still for that year, Dryden wrote a miraculous year. Okay, so then people started questioning that why did he write a miraculous year? And then in one of his interviews and letters, he said that I wrote Annus Mirabilis for a year that was otherwise very bad for England, is because 666. What is the Satan's number? Alright, and have you seen the movie Omen?
Yes.
Okay. Then, I mean, generally it is our generation's movie. But if you're in for shivers, screams, and shock, then Omen is a must see. And this is the number of the beast, as in devil in Satan in its bestile form. Okay? And it's represented as 666, the number of the devil. And then he said that it could have been worse, as in not just 20% of London's population, but the entire could have been wiped off from bubonic plague. Okay? Our idea of the West is very neat and tidy, right? But London in those times was seriously not anybody's idea of hygiene and neatness. Daily bath was unheard of. Nobody would bathe daily. Daily ebullitions, as in there is a basin full of water right beside your bed, and that's it. As in you wash your ears, your mouth, and your hands, if at all it's not very cold, and otherwise that's it. And then all the houses were either wood, therefore the Great Fire of London. It took 7 days to extinguish the fire. 7 whole days. So not just wood, and then to insulate the houses, they used to spread rush, as in hay. Then if you are very, very affluent, as in if you are more rich than the rest, blue-blooded, then obviously you will have a castle to live in. And if you have a castle to live in, it's built of stone. Stone is not known for its insular qualities. I mean, it becomes very, very cold. So then a lot of hay, and then animals to give you warmth, as in dogs. So there's a large tower room. I mean, take it out, it makes it very, very romantic. The Gryffindor common room, it's not so romantic if it was 1666. Okay? It's in a large room, extremely cold, filled with hay and dogs who are not house trained. Not a good idea, right? And winter. And winter, cold, and London has never been known as dry. It snows in June in London. Okay, therefore English people talk about weather. Because, and you have to carry your umbrella everywhere. So, therefore, the entire London broke down in 1666, and John Dryden came out in Christmas with the poem Annus Mirabilis. And after that, Annus Mirabilis became a kind of a term which was bandied about for a long, long time. In the 20th century, it became very famous because in 1905, Einstein wrote Annus Mirabilis papers. Okay? And just in 2005, we had a centenary celebration for Annus Mirabilis papers. Those papers that really, really made popular so many of Einstein's theories. Okay, so Annus Mirabilis, a year of wonder. Then in 1967, the Celtic Football Club declared that it was an Annus Mirabilis for them, because not only did they win all the cups in England and also the European Cup. So Annus Mirabilis, a year of wonder. So any year that has gone very good became Annus Mirabilis. Conversely, people started using another term after 1902, and that is annus horribilis. A year that is extremely bad. This was a term that was coined by Elizabeth II when she gave her the Queen of England addresses the people of England after Christmas, on the Christmas Eve, and she termed the year 1992 Annus Horribilis because fire broke out in Windsor Castle. So fire, okay, and all of her 3 children, the Princess Royal, Prince of Wales, and Prince Andrew, all of their marriages broke down in 1992. They decided to be adulterous in 1992. So, Annus Horribilis. Then in 2004, Kofi Annan, then the Secretary General of UN, used Annus Horribilis because 2004 the UN was not able to meet any deadlines or any peace that they had wanted to establish all over the world. So, Annus Horribilis. So when we are talking about years and part of years and yearly, then let's come to India. And what do we have to? What is in literature that best represents a year? What is a year made of? I mean, if you have to divide the year or if you have to represent the year in the best way, months, seasons. Okay. So the first representation of the years or seasons in a year was made by Kalidas when he wrote Ritu Samhat. Okay. And then he's writing about 6 seasons. We have 6 to the 4 of the West. Okay, how many seasons does the West have? 4. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Okay, as in spring is the beginning of the year and winter is the end. And we have 6. Spring, summer is rain. And autumn and winter is the death of the year, as in when nothing grows or the leaves are shed. Another trivia, that how did people explain, how did myths come into being from seasons? The West has a very nice theory because the West always suffers a lot in autumn and winter, where you have to fight the elements of nature, right, all the time. So there is nothing like existing with nature, it's always existing against nature. Autumn and winter are out to kill you. So then the half year that when you are struggling for your existence, then they said that it is because Mother Earth is very, very inimical towards us. She is not conducive to our living. So then people say that, why is Earth sad? And why is Earth not helping all of us? So then they said that, okay, it's because Earth's daughter, Persephone, okay? The daughter of Earth, Mother Earth, Persephone, a very beautiful maiden, was abducted, kidnapped by Pluto. Pluto sages Hades, and then abducted and taken away. And so therefore Earth said, strike, band, not going to work. So everything started dying, and then all of us, the children of Earth, they are like, we have to be helped. So then everybody approached Earth, which had kind of gone on into a cave, dying, and pleading for food, and she said that bring back Persephone. So all of us representatives of humans, they went to Hades. Hades is not a nice person to talk to. Okay? He is the king of the underworld. Not Dawood, worse than Dawood. He is the king of the underworld, and he said, I have kidnapped Persephone, and it's been quite a while since she is here in the underworld. Now that you are requesting me so much, I'll allow Persephone to go up in the earth, only if she has not consumed anything in this underworld of mine. मेरा कुछ उसने अगर खाया है, consume किया है, then she is entitled to pay back whatever that she has eaten. So Persephone, the poor soul that she was, she had eaten 6 pomegranate seeds. Yes, exactly. And each seed represented a month. A month. So she was allowed to stay above for 6 months, but she had to stay with Hades for the other 6. Alright. So the half month that Persephone is above the earth is alright, happy, and in a fertile mood. So it's spring and summer. And the rest of the 6 months when Persephone leaves, earth is like enough. Alright, so autumn and winter. And then people started representing seasons in literature, stories, and spring represents romance. Summer, comedy. Autumn, can I read this? So tragedy. Okay, very good. Then what does winter do? Dull. What is winter? Cold. Very good. So what genre or what particular type of literature which is extremely cold? Horror. Satire. Exactly. Winter represents irony and also farce. Okay? So it started with Annis, yearly payments, and from there we took an entire journey from John Ryland to Einstein and Celtic FC. And yes, what poets do you study? Is literature a part? No. Yes, it is. Okay. Which poets? Okay, there's somebody called Philip Larkin who also wrote Annus Mirabilis. It's a very graphic poem which I'd rather not recite in a full class. Kindly please Google it up. Okay. 1963 has been a watermark in his personal life. So he wrote Annus Mirabilis. It was a pleasant year for him. So he wrote Annus Mirabilis, a year of miracle, wonder. Fine. Any questions? Yeah, I just wanted to say. Any questions? Okay, can you please use these words now in your vocabulary? They're quite nice. They sound very nice. Annus Mirabilis. I mean, something really great happens. Mirabilis. Something terrible happens. Mirabilis. where the nature is considered as a companion, an empathetic friend to represent the mood that the protagonist or the heroine is feeling. And Midsummer Night's Dream is a comedy, and then Shakespeare wrote The Tempest and The Winter's Tale, which are tragicomedy, as in somewhere in between. Okay, A Winter's Tale and The Tempest, and there's another, and that is Merchant of Venice. Okay, all you can't exactly call them comedy, but you can't even call them tragedy, because there's a lot of farcical and ironical elements in the same. The Tempest is a comedy only on the strength of the thing that nobody dies. Nobody dies, exactly.
And there's a happy ending for everybody, I think.
But the happy ending is pretty contrived. It looks pretty contrived in the sense that they might not have fallen in love, you know. And when the usurer Duke, the young Duke, when he comes to the island, he might have just said that, you know, I don't want to let go of my kingdom. You guys can stay put here. Let me rule Milan. And anyways, we're having a lot of fun here on the island. Exactly. You're a magician. So create another island, another kingdom for you. Let me stay in, was it Milan or Naples? Milan, Naples. But Italy, basically. Okay. So they might have as well and said,
yeah, even though nobody died, there was so much conflict in the Tempest. And
it is tempestuous,
exactly,
to say the least.
Exactly. So it can't exactly be classified as comedy. But
J.K. Rowling uses seasons beautifully.
yes.
Alright, as in for moods, on Christmas, everything is very dark, cold, and light, ironical, and questioning for all the characters, where they have to question their deep-rooted beliefs or deep-rooted perceptions and come out freshened, so that they can handle the rest of the tasks that are left to be done. Okay, Bollywood loves representing nature to signify mood. Okay, the moment there is romantic turbulence, winter, rains, easily. Alright? Suddenly, people who are wearing technicolor, they start to dress in black, brown, drab. Okay, the best of the directors fall prey to this. Okay, the best of the directors can't help showing the heroine wearing black when there is emotional turbulence in her life. Okay, the other example of seasons, the best is in Japanese literature, and that is haikus. Okay? The traditional literary form which the Japanese have given to the world is a haiku. 575 syllables, 3 lines, extremely poised. Poised in the sense like golf. You don't have to overshoot, nor do you have to restrain. It has to be completely controlled, and that is a haiku. And basically, when the haikus began, they were mostly about seasons. Okay, representation of seasons. Just a small example. 3 lines. It has to be small. Such a fine first dream, 1 line over, but they laughed at me. They said, I had made it up. Okay. Such a fine first dream, but they laughed at me. They said, I had made it up. The poem is over. Another haiku that represents winter. From my tiny roof, first line, poised kind of form of literature. You're doing a great job. When I had asked somebody to write reflections, and we had said that everybody has to write a haiku. Generally, I didn't force them to follow the 5-7-5 pattern. I had said that 3 lines are okay, alright, because generally to divide words into syllable and then measure the syllable and write is difficult. So everybody was writing, and so 2 girls, they came up with this. I cough loud, you sneeze louder, we are connected. Simple reflection, simple rendition of the form. And farcical, yes, farcical, but if it's a rainy season in Gujarat, it's pretty much the same. Everybody coughs, everybody sneezes, and yes, there is a lot of connection.
Any other question? We started with what? I started with what? Actually, there should be questions, more towards the end of our literature point of view. But how is she connecting it with annuities? There's a lot of depth, actually.
The only chord that connects is the ear. Okay? As if we have to be the chord that really kind of binds